You are on the line with Juan and Rykno and the Rhino Ryan Knowles coming at you from Gangplank Studios here in Chandler, Arizona, and talking about key matchups right now in this game. And I'll get it started on this segment. ASU D-line versus the UCLA O-line. And the most intriguing matchup, as we talked about, is going to be Will Sutton against Joe Baca. They're going to be facing each other quite a bit in this game, and a lot of it's going to be depending on how that bruise is going to be responding to treatment to the ice. So hopefully Will Sutton will be close to 100%, maybe not fully in full power, because Joe Baca is a guy who, like we talked about, hasn't reached that star level in the Pac-12, but he was starting since he was a true freshman. Sat out 2010 with some academic issues, but he's the guy that stabilizes the Bruin line. So to me, that's a huge matchup right now. And how is Will Sutton going to match up against Joe Baca? Are we going to be able to see the dominance? And I get a feeling that Will Sutton is going to give this guy room for his money.
Hopefully he plays in this game. I mean, he's still a little bit... as of Tuesday, he's still questionable in this game. I mean, ASU's not given any indication about whether or not he'll play. But, I mean, I think it's as a whole... I mean, if he can walk that day, I think he's playing.
And the reason why I say that...
He's a tough guy. He's a tough dude. And, I mean, he really anchors that offensive line. You could kind of see the drop-off in performance after he left. I mean, Jake Sheffield and Toa Tuitea, no offense to them, but they haven't been battle-hardened this year the way that Will Sutton has, and they haven't stepped up and performed the way he has.
And Oregon attacked that side of the line of scrimmage frequently in the first part of that game because of that absence.
Yeah, it was tough to see him on the sideline, especially making the tremendous play that he did. I mean, he's such a difference maker on that line. They need him in there, and I mean, if he does play in this game, I think that it really changes the game plan for UCLA, especially when it comes to how the offensive line schemes. And runs the ball. So, I mean, this is a great opportunity, I feel like, for ASU's D-line to step up. I feel like this is a good game for Jackson Hood to really come in and step up. I'd like to see Carl Bradford. I felt like he had kind of a disappointing game against Oregon.
My next key matchup is going to be Carl Bradford and Junior Onyeli against Simon Goins. You got a true freshman tackle who's showing signs of dominance. He plays very well, good explosion, but he hasn't faced these guys. And this is a chance for them to rebound huge. You know, Junior Onyeli with the shoulder deal. Carl Bradford, like you mentioned, Rhino, didn't have his best game after showing such improvement in the past. So this is a game where I think this defensive line can regroup and make a statement about where they're going to go in this season.
I watched Oregon State against. I watched Oregon State against UCLA earlier in the year, and this offensive line really struggled to pick up the pass rush. And when we talked about that Oregon State pass rush is so dynamic, and they're very tough to defend.
Ask Utah.
Yeah, exactly, and that's where they kind of got exposed. I mean, you talked about the 21 sacks this year. Brett Hundley's had a hard time sticking in that pocket for very long and being comfortable when he throws. So I mean, if you around those edges, if you can get penetration there and keep him contained and and force him to make into some bad decisions, I think you're gonna come out on top on Saturday.
How about your key matchup, Rhino, as we're winding this down?
Obviously, I think that this is a running team, and the linebackers need to have a strong game against that dynamic Bruins offense because they can run the ball in so many different ways. Obviously, the swing pass is kind of an extension of their running game. We all know how Noel Mazzoni loves to use that. But you can't have missed tackles against this team because they have guys with a lot of speed. And a lot, they can make moves and get out of the open and
they're good athletes.
Go for a lot of yards, and you can't. And you need to fill the gaps. So you can't. The linebackers need to have a much better game. I feel like in this game, Chris Young and Brandon McGee need to anchor that unit and keep Franklin and Hundley contained. They've got to play well side to side. As Mazzoni's offense loves to spread the field.
They love that horizontal game.
And they definitely need to hit those. They like to hit those edges. They like to spread out the defense. So it's up to them to get out to that edge and make plays on the ball when it's out there. And then my second matchup, I think, is the DBs need to have a strong game. They're going to have some matchup problems against Shaquille Evans and Christian Foria. They're big physical targets that Brett Hundley likes to look for. They can't get spread out and create lanes for the playmakers and to make plays on. They got to make plays on the ball and create turnovers. That is the most effective way to win this game, I feel like.
Alrighty, so those are the key matchups for this game against UCLA. And what are your key matchups? I'm always welcome to join the conversation. When we come back, we're going to be previewing the Bruin defense and talk about what Taylor Kelly and company are going to be facing on Saturday. Don't go away.